Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About YouABQ.
That's right, it is all about YouABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, business, and financing so that you get some value and walk away feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests that you'd like to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out using the hashtag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. I am Skip Adams, owner-broker of Sold by Skip Real Estate here in Albuquerque.
I'm Grant Harvey with a mortgage lender, NMLS 343964.
Yeah, and you may know Grant Harvey as the head coach of the Lobo hockey team, but now he's absolutely just crushing it in the mortgage game.
Now, you've seen Skip on HGTV's House Hunters, and he's part of the 2% of the top producing agents in the nation.
Thank you for that warm intro. Well, God, stay tuned, all right? We got a great show coming up. Here's why you're going to want to be around to the end of the show. We're going to kind of talk about what's been going on here locally.
Yeah.
Revisit this weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. And then we're joined by small business owners, Dan and Julian Chavez, who own an exciting venue. We're going to let them talk a little bit more about that in the second segment. Grant is going to be blessing us with the Mortgage Minute, always a fantastic segment of the show.
Yeah. And we're going to have the much anticipated Skip's Tips.
That's right. Stay tuned to the end of the show for Skip's Tips, where we break down a couple of tips that either make us money, save us time, or just make our lives better, either in real estate or in real life. So stay tuned to the end. Grant, tell me a little bit about your weekend, my friend.
Oh man, it was another hockey weekend. Lobos won another two. The Lobo hockey team's just on a tear. We were fortunate enough to have a sold-out crowd, and we did some military appreciation night, and did some jersey auctions to raise money for the team. What about you?
We touched on this previously, but Albuquerque does have an underground ultimate frisbee.
It's literally underground.
Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m., St. Pius High School. There's a group of the individuals who get together and play ultimate frisbee. So I got out there this weekend, whether it's in business or in life, you have to step outside your comfort zone. Yeah. So I went and played ultimate frisbee, and I astonished myself in the fact that I overperformed, right?
Not again. Oh, man.
I'm not keeping stats. If you're keeping stats at home, I did win the MVP this week.
Shoot.
I had some great jump catches, played defense like a pro. And I will say that there were some newcomers on the field who sucked. And so that
helped elevate you.
Yeah, so it elevates my game. I like to keep other people down to raise myself up.
In sports.
And pad stats.
Yeah. So what led this to be the ultimate frisbee MVP? Like, give me one highlight.
You know what the main difference was? When we played a couple weeks ago, it was 30 degrees, a little bit of a breeze in the air, and it was miserable. So the weather was about 60, sunny, and I had the opportunity. I used the old noggin this time. I stretched beforehand.
Okay.
Did some toe touches.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah, that nose and ear.
I do have a recurring hamstring injury, so.
Yeah, well then that's the ultimate sacrifice. The ultimate frisbee MVP made the ultimate sacrifice is hamstrings, and now make way in the trophy case because he's got himself another one, right? Right now for this Mortgage Minute, I want to talk about VA loans, and thank you for anyone that was a service member. I feel like the VA has actually taken care of their members through this program called the VA loans. VA loans have a 0% down, no mortgage insurance. Traditionally, if you put zero down, there's heavy mortgage insurance. The VA takes care of the mortgage insurance, and typically you get a rate that's about 0.5% lower than your conventional loans. Service members are entitled to it. You just need a DD 214 to see eligibility. And actually the National Guard has now been eligible to get these loans. So I would consult a mortgage lender and find out if VA loans are the route to go. I'm a big believer in them, and I think service members have been taken care of there. So that wraps up Mortgage Minute.
I think that's good information, especially, if you're out there looking for a home, there's so many benefits that go along with getting a VA loan. And I was surprised. I mean, savings in property taxes, no mortgage insurance, which mortgage insurance is another fee that usually gets thrown onto your loan if you have an FHA loan or a small down payment. But VA takes care of that.
Yeah.
So your monthly payment and your rate is going to be substantially less than going the conventional route.
Yeah, and those with a substantial disability percentage can actually elect to get rid of their county taxes, and the funding fee associated with the VA, which is 2.3% of the first time you use it, can be remedied, can be at zero. You just have to show your disability. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too far into depth about the details, but I'm a big believer in VA loans.
What I like about VA buyers and VA loans, and you can speak to this because I know we've done a couple of these together, but military servicemen and women typically operate at a level where, if they say they're going to perform, if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. They're not going to wait till closing and then decide they don't want to close.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is a situation we were going through today. But tell me a little bit more about the hockey game this weekend when you guys were selling jerseys.
Yeah. So the first time we did a military appreciation, we had these camouflage jerseys. They came out great, and now they're online to be for bidding. So anyone that gets the top bidder gets to have a jersey. Usually jerseys are hard to come by. We very rarely have the jerseys for the public. Or for Scott Cregan at Graphic Connections, he's made a way for us to sell the red jersey, but this has only been the second time the jerseys are game worn for sale.
That's fantastic. I know that's really cool. So for more information about how to make a bid on one of these jerseys or to get involved with Lobo Sports, you can always follow the hashtag. You can reach out to us at YouABQ for some tips and tricks on how to stay involved in our community. But here's why you're going to want to stay tuned for the rest of the show. We're going to be greeted with some small business owner, Dan and Julian, a little father-son combo.
Yeah. So these guys are friends of mine, long-time friends. Julian was a captain of one of my Lobo teams, and Danny's been a fan of the program, supporter of the program, and does a lot for the community. So we have a great story to tell, so we'll see you after this segment.
Welcome back to this segment of YouABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner, broker of Sold by Skip real estate brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, Vision Mortgage. Welcome back to the show.
Well, in this segment, we're going to highlight some community leaders who are small business owners, philanthropists, at old hockey players, maybe? Let's welcome Danny and Julian to the show. Hey, guys, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know as small business owners, you wear many different hats, right? Are you working security? What's up with the Revel shirt?
Security, ticket taker.
Yeah, you see those arms? Do we need to ask this kind of question?
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. His ponytail, he's got a bouncer ponytail. That means it's no business.
Bartender, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the backstory. Now, Julian, I know you were a hockey player at UNM, and that's kind of how you and Grant became buddies.
Yeah, that's an interesting story about Julian. Julian was my captain, and I started off wanting to beat him up. Okay, so the first interaction with Julian's on the ice, and this guy is just jawing at me like a little chihuahua. I'm like, who is this kid? Like, I'm about to punch him. But fast forward, he becomes my captain, and actually, I love this kid's tenacity. He ended up being a proven leader, and it's such a good story. And the hockey community is really tight. So I mean, we obviously still friends now, and I'm a big fan of the family. And Danny, go ahead and tell me about your beginning in Albuquerque, or your community involvement and your upbringing.
So I started a concert production company in 1984 in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at a place called the Palo Solari. Started with 4 guys pushing cases up a very steep, narrow ramp. And it evolved into a premier production rigging company that is now operates in 5 states and many venues throughout the Southwest.
Yeah.
We handle Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Colorado. Minimal in those 2 in Oklahoma and Colorado, but we've done probably every touring act that's been out there for the last 38 years, and it's a family business. It's the corporate office is right here in Albuquerque, which we are very proud of. We handle Austin City Limits, which is the longest running television show. That's one of our venues. We handle, we've done 2 halftime Super Bowl shows, been involved with those. We have a 3rd one to come. So it's a huge success story, and COVID kind of knocked it down, but we're back up and we're at it, and which led us into starting Revel. But it's all because of NRG that we're in business.
You got deep roots here, right? I mean, you went to high school at St. Pius and
St. Pius
Valley, right?
I graduated Valley in 1980, and I lived just about a mile from, or less than a mile from where I graduated high school. And also the venue where Revel exists today was a place that my brother and I grew up shooting BB guns at each other and having dirt clod fights and that kind of stuff. Back in the day, that was, in the early 80s, early 70s.
It's always fun, and that's why, the purpose of the show YouABQ is to highlight community members who are born and raised or who really hold it down or started businesses to help improve our community, right?
Both my kids graduated UNM. Very proud of this community, very proud of being in this city. I love the clean air. I love the people. I love looking at the mountains every day. There's a lot to be said about our community. And again, we had our choice. We do have homes in other cities that we work in, but it was always my goal to live, my life in Albuquerque. It's been great for my business. The community's been very good. We are behind a lot of community projects, but I love Albuquerque. I was born here and I'll die here. I really do. I love Albuquerque, and yes, we travel around and we get the feel for hiring and having staff in other communities. But at the end of the day, this is home. And I don't know about Julian and my daughter, who's also part of the family business. But I'll speak for myself in saying that I will live and die here.
Talk a little bit about Revel. What the heck is it?
I'll let Julian talk a little bit.
Well, it started with Uptown Funk, a dueling piano bar. That was almost a decade ago. Yeah,
that was the lines around the building.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I helped run and manage that for a few years before I myself left to Austin and lived there for 5 years, and now I'm back here permanently.
This was Preponytail.
Yeah, this is Preponytail.
It's like
a different person.
Yeah, AD and BC, right? So
Austin.
now we have the post-ponytail.
Yeah. But then, Danny came up with the idea on a napkin that he wanted to, have this concept of owning a concert venue along with places to eat and other bars all under one roof. And he had a vision, and I think has just gone after it from, putting it on that napkin to making it a reality. And we've always wanted to expand on the dueling piano bar. That wasn't, our end game.
Yeah.
And so this was a perfect opportunity. And I think I've been a part of the concert industry now for, over 20 years.
Longer than that. How old are you? 31?
Since I was born.
You were going to.
So our family, understands that aspect of it.
Okay.
And so I think it's right in our wheelhouse to own and operate a concert venue. And I think one of the big things for us that we always like to put on display about Revel is that it is all local, restaurants and everything we've done there, from construction to fine products and stuff. We try and focus on doing everything local. And again, why we love Albuquerque so much.
We were at the ground floor of a 10-story building. From a real estate standpoint, we were told it will never work. This is a class 5 office space, if you will. And I convinced the people to let me try it, and it was a huge success. And since then, I understand that they're going to be developing more entertainment in that little area. We basically outgrew it, and also wanted to own the property that it stood on. We'll never own the 10-story building.
No.
And so, but it was a bank prior to us taking control of it and running it for 5 years. And we had a 5-year lease, and we lived that through. And then the other thing is, for Revel, in an old sporting goods store, a lot of people were like, wait a minute, you're taking a retail space and trying to build a concert venue that'll hold, 3,000 people. So, from a real estate standpoint, or from our point of view, yeah, maybe they weren't the most, best way to go about this. And we're still looking at some other property in between us and Topgolf, and possibly, making even another bold move of maybe a boutique amphitheater. Altogether, we were about 3.5 years in.
Okay.
We purchased the building in 2019. We were open for 17 days. We opened March 1st, and then we started hearing about this pandemic. Nobody really knew what was going on. I told the kids, let's just kind of watch how we spend. We don't know. We were told 2 weeks. You may be shutting down for 2 weeks. We actually, NRG didn't do a concert. We did Kiss in Lubbock on March 17th, and we didn't do another concert for 18 months straight. Now, one organized concert for 18 months, which means that we had 1,000 employees either sitting at home or wondering where we were going. Back to Revel, we were shut down, we were open. We in turn opened a really cool patio. I love our patio.
Follow guidelines, yeah.
We followed guidelines and we're able to do things outdoor.
It was definitely the birth of outdoor dining.
Yes.
And it ended up being great. I mean, I love that. I love that section.
Yeah, we got a little baby stage out there. We were able to, hold 280 people, social distance with, So we followed all the guidelines. And of course, when we're looking at our neighboring states being able to do a lot more than we were, it was a little frustrating. And then the good news is that, like Julian had said, we had already hired a local contractor for phase 1 was complete. We had already purchased all the steel. We purchased an elevator. It's pretty crazy to have an elevator sitting in a room that you can't use it for anything, and it's not the cheapest piece of steel in the world. But we managed to survive all of COVID, and actually, it was a little frustrating and to see what was going on, but we managed to all together as a family unit keep our heads together, and then this past February of this year we started construction, and we were open for Midland, which was our national touring act, on October 29th. And since then, getting back to the original question, we have done numerous events. We've done MMA, local MMA, all sold out. We've got Lorenzo is there.
Because I thought the same thing when you said we do MMA. I'm thinking this is like a sports bar. Put up a couple TVs, has some chicken wings. No, we did.
Actual octagon is there.
That's live demon.
Well, octagon with about I think 13 fight card. It was great. Yeah. Pros. I mean, to get to. I think we're still cleaning up some of the blood, but that's the nature of it.
We're familiar with losing teeth and blood here.
Yeah, that's. But so, and now moving forward in the next, in the first quarter, we sort of missed the quarter for the last of 2022. Tours have already been established, and then of course the holidays, tour buses and touring personnel are a little harder to find. They don't want to be out on the road during the cold weather and that kind of stuff. So the first quarter we've already booked Whiskey Myers, and we've got Queens of the Stone Age, we've got Anthrax, which is on sale. A lot of these shows that are selling good. So it'll be a full genre of music. We'll be doing every type of music, and that's what will really help in the longevity of holding on to Revel. Some of the venues here in Albuquerque have been here for 50, 60 years, probably longer than I have, because that's one thing that's sustainable. Bars have a shelf life, and we know that from, you have to reinvent them. But with Revel, I think we're going to be here for the long haul. First and foremost, we love the Roadrunner Food Bank. Every year we go and we help out, we contribute, we get our staff from NRG and Revel to do this. We're still yet to do that this year. We're doing a film industry party, which is to support this coming December 17th, and it's on a Saturday night. We're inviting all the film industry and bring food, bring a donation. It's supported by the IATSE, Film Industry of Albuquerque, and the Stuntmen Association.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brand X Stunts. Sorry, I lost my mind there for a second. And then we also help with Carrie Tingley Hospital. We're very involved with Carrie Tingley. We've hosted numerous events, and we also work with different type of groups here, military and that type of stuff, which you had to live with.
So we're going to put a link to your website, to Revel, so that everyone can find out how to get involved with you, how to get tickets to the show,
right?
How to help come clean up the blood in the parking lot. But Danny and Julian, you hire local, you start local business, you keep it all here, and I think that's what YouABQ is also about. These initiatives is coming on, and it's a fantastic story.
Yeah, without them even being here, I'm probably going to talk about Revel one of our episodes. I just think it's like a choose your own adventure in there. And you go, wait, what's this room having? You've never seen anything like it in this town. I invite you to have 10 visits, and every visit will be a little bit different. I just think it's such a neat thing for an adult to go, man, we really can do something different here. So those of you who feel like there's nothing to do in Albuquerque, go into Revel. There's so much to offer there. So again, thank you for our guests. I think we had a great segment here. I love talking about this.
Thank you for continuing to book the guests and really starting to put Albuquerque on the map.
And thank you for Julian's ponytail.
Julian, thank you for having shiny hair today. Coming up in our last segment, here's where you're going to want to stay tuned to the end of it. Look, it's something I'm very passionate about, and I know that the guests, the studio audience,
everyone's losing their mind.
Everyone's losing their mind. If you stay tuned, we're going to get into Skip's tip. So moving season, everybody's moving homes right now. It seems like with the great migration. So in our business, it's important to just be prepared for it. So I'm going to give you 5 tips that's going to make your move the move of the future. The first tip is, you know you're going to be selling, you know you're going to be moving, so start decluttering that house. Get rid of the pictures from grandma, the tapestries on the wall. We want your house to just be empty. If there's anything that you're not going to be using in the next 3 months, pack it up, store it away. That way your house is fresh and clean for buyers, and when the time comes to move, you're going to be ready. The second thing is packing and loading. There's so many things to think about when it comes to packing and loading. Do you hire a professional? Do you do it yourself? Studies show that marriages are saved by hiring professionals. Now, you can pack the basic stuffs into the box and stack them by the door, but hire the professionals to carry the big appliances and load them into the truck. And that's definitely going to be Skip's tip number 2. If you want to save your marriage, leave it to the professionals. If you're moving from out of state, now 90% of our business is helping people relocate from all over the world to Albuquerque. And the number one thing that makes the move the easiest is hiring a service called pods. Pods are portable on-demand storage, and the benefit is they'll come to your house with a giant empty box. You're going to pack it, stuff it with everything that you have, and then they're going to take it away to a warehouse here in Albuquerque. That way, when you're in transition, maybe you haven't closed on your new home in Albuquerque, you can close on the paperwork and take your time to have that pod delivered to the house when it's ready, instead of trying to rush your move over the weekend. We know we're moving. We'll just, wait till the weekend to call a moving truck. What happens is, we saw this huge in California. There was people leaving California, moving to New Mexico or other states. And so there was a shortage of moving trucks. So if you wait till the last minute, there's a good chance that there won't be any moving trucks available for you. Don't call your friends to help you move and lift pianos on the weekend with the promise of giving them a pizza and a bottle of Gatorade. If you take care of your movers, hire professional movers, get them the pizza and the Gatorade. So there you go. That's 5 Skip tips on how best to prepare for moving.
That's the end of our show here. I again thank our guests, Danny and Julian Chavez. Skip's tips was phenomenal. Mortgage Minute, I feel just like I moved mountains for everyone.
Real quick, what are you doing Tuesday night at 7?
Oh,
Wednesday night at
Wednesday, yeah.
7?
Oh, watching YouABQ. What are you doing Sunday at 7 a.m.?
Well, Sunday at 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned for YouABQ, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is all about
YouABQ.